Welcome back and thanks for stopping by. And we've Danny back again for another Radiohead review. How are you keeping,
Oh,
Danny?
I'm great. Yeah. Thanks for having me again.
No
Enjoyed the
problem.
last one.
No problem. Yeah. So this week it is The Bends, released
Depends.
in 1995. So yeah, the second studio album by the band, Danny, The Bends. A step
Yeah.
forward, I think, no doubt.
It's a big step up, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. This is the first album they started working with Nigel Godrich on.
Yeah, that's right, actually. Yeah.
So he
Was
he
he an
was
engineer or was he producer? He wasn't the head producer at that point, was he?
correct,
I think he
yeah.
was.
A guy called John Leckie was
Yeah,
the
that's right, actually.
producer. I think Nigel Godrich. I think he produced one song or he engineered and mixed. But
Black Star, wasn't it? I think. Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. So yeah, this is the start of big things for Radiohead, in my opinion. Um,
Yeah.
you stick on this album, and from the off, you can just hear sonically they haven't taken a step forward. They've taken 100 steps forward from what was on Pablo Honey.
Yeah, big time, yeah. Like the production, the recording, the songwriting, yeah, you're right. Everything has just moved up at least a couple of levels.
Yeah,
It's not gradual, it's just like poof,
Near,
you know?
nearly not the same band. Like whatever experience they went through from 1993 to 1995.
Yeah,
Whatever formative experiences or they had in that period as a band out touring on the road supporting the first album. I believe they dropped another EP in this time, but this album is really so strong. So it kicks off with Planet Telex. I was listening to it today in the car. I had it cranked, and the first
yeah.
few seconds I was actually coming through the port tunnel, so there was loads of trucks around me, and
Oh,
like I hear this noise. I'm like, is that a truck? Is there a tire after going out on a truck or something? There's this swirly noise happening. And then Planet
oh
Tech
yes.
kicks in. And I'm like, oh, it's Radiohead. Cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very surreal.
Yeah, deadly, deadly. I love those moments.
Yeah. So then
Never to
Planet
be
Telex,
repeated.
like this, to me now, I watched a fantastic interview with Ed O'Brien, who is one of the
Yeah.
guitar players
Oh
with
yeah, go on, yeah.
Radiohead. And he was on that pedal show. And he was explaining how this guitar sound developed. So basically, him and Johnny Greenwood, the other guitar player, they
Yeah.
were playing Fender Telecasters through Vox AC30s.
Yeah, you can tell. Like I didn't even know that, but you can hear it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so the thing for Ed O'Brien was the first pedal he was getting wasn't going to be a distortion pedal. It was actually going to be a delay pedal.
Okay.
And that was more interesting to him in terms of the way he wanted to go with the sound.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting point, because I think a lot of people think, oh, rock bands, you have to have a distortion pedal. Radiohead, we're looking at it from a different angle. Now, there's plenty of distortion on this album, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but you can certainly hear like Ed O'Brien and Johnny Greenwood. To me, they are two fantastic guitar players, and they each
Yeah.
pick a lane and go with it. It's
Yeah.
similar to Mike McCready and Stone Gossard, particularly on the first Pearl Jam album. Two guitars blending so well.
Yeah. Offering
Um,
soundscapes.
Absolutely. And then another example would be Slash and Izzy Stradlin on Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses debut
Yeah.
album.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
lots
they
of
know both another place, don't they?
they know about Aerosmith's another one. Any of the first five Aerosmith albums, you've got Joe Perry and you've got Brad Whitford, and they just know how to combine the sound to make it sound
Yeah. Yeah.
really good.
It's perfect. Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. And they introduce a tremolo sound, which is this uh like it's a rapid swell and decrease in volume. You know that tremolo sound?
Yeah. Yeah. I can hear it. Like I'm sure it's yeah.
So the Vox AC30s, I actually owned an AC15 and they have that tremolo built into them.
That's right. Yeah. I have an AC30 and a
Oh, you have an
Telecaster.
AC, great stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just there. Yeah. But yeah, the Vox AC30, yeah. I need to change the tubes though. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. Here's another thing about Planet Telex, right?
Yeah.
Uh, Listen to the bass line at the start. Like, okay, so like, okay, we're talking about arrangements now. So there's
Yeah,
no bass line at the very start. It comes in one 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 ba 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 bum ba 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 bum, but in like that. But
that's right.
then the bass line do 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 do. It goes like that, right? That's the same bass line as Airbag in the opening song of OK Computer.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's the same. Like it changes. It's a little different. It's even in the same key. I think it's in the E minor or A, one of them. But yeah, it's the same. It's funny. So like you could see how they were trying to like they had an idea about how to open an album at that point.
For
You know?
sure. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. You're hooked in from the start. And like I had it cranked. I was driving around for work this morning. I had that cranked and it was just like amazing. Like the speakers in my car aren't great, but like this album, once you start, you have to finish. You
Yeah. Yeah.
can't put it down. One song rolls into the other. So like Planet Telex is an extremely strong song. And then we come into the Bends, which is
The
just
Benz, baby, he's got the Benz.
blows your mind. Like absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic. Guitar work in this one is brilliant. The drums are, you were saying on the previous album, the drums sounded a bit, amateur on the amateur side. Not the case now. We're into the bends, we're
Oh,
rocking.
he really, really put the foot down here, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the sound is absolutely amazing. And then on to one of Radiohead's most famous songs, High and Dry, starts off with that beautiful acoustic section,
Yeah.
and then it just again the the quiet to the loud, the Pixies or Nirvana, whatever reference you want to use.
Yeah.
But Radiohead, they do it amazingly here.
And that was a demo.
Is that right?
Yeah. They didn't, that wasn't, which is, it's funny, like, because I think it was recorded first and they said, okay, just, that's it, leave it at that. That's perfect, you know? But
Wow.
the rest of the band or the rest of the album was they recorded it, they rehearsed it. I think
Yeah.
they'd rehearsed it too much because the producers had to go off and do something else, and they were waiting around and they were practicing, and I think it got a little bit stale for them. So they
Okay.
knew they knew they knew how to play the songs inside out, back to front.
Yeah.
But what happened in High and Dry, I think for me anyway, I can hear it is there was two things. One was like the fact that because it was a demo, it was loose and it wasn't planned, and they liked that improvisation side of things,
Yeah.
which you can hear it much more so on OK Computer. Like you can hear how strong and tight it is on this record. Can't let's see, you can, can't you? Like you can. It's there's not much looseness to it, you know.
Yeah.
It's a perfect album. I love it, but it's not as loose as the next one after this.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah. They're still very much grow like coming from I hate to say, oh, it's grunge, like, but it's definitely coming from that sort of vibe.
yeah. Oh, yeah. It is. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. You
Like
know.
heavier guitars, kind of, as you say, structured 4/4 time,
Yeah.
keeping in keys. But there's a lot of interesting stuff. I think they start using the effects on the guitars to
Yeah.
effect, excuse the pun, on this album. This is where they really start to explore phase,
Yeah.
flanger, delay, chorus, tremolo, vibrato, all of those lovely things to add textures. They started here, obviously, to take it to a different level on OK Computer, and we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the grounding for OK Computer. This is kind of setting the scene and seeing what's possible in the studio.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's perfect. Yeah. You put it right there. Like. Yeah. They're experimenting with sounds, aren't they?
Mm.
So they are. And it's funny because like there's a lot of bands like they would have backing vocals, and that like say if you're playing a song and it's in G. So the
Yeah,
backing vocals would be like D or B or something like that above it, and that'd give the sonic soundscape. But there's not really Radiohead are not really a backing vocals band. Like it came in, they tried it out in this, and they do when they do it, it's amazing.
yeah,
But usually it's the guitars that provide that harmonic element, isn't it?
for sure,
It's
absolutely. Yeah,
Johnny and Ed, like and which I love. I love that supports Tom's voice just perfectly, you know.
it definitely does. It definitely does. Then we've got Fake Plastic Trees, which again, like, you start off with Planet Telex, which is a very experimental, spacey song. Then you've got
Yeah.
two rockers in the bends and High and Dry. then you come in with fake plastic trees, which just it's like a journey. This album, it takes you down,
Yeah,
calms everything right down. It's a very somber, heartfelt song, you know.
yeah, it is. To
Uh,
you, can I ask you this? Lyrically, do you feel like this is Tom where he is at that point, being a successful rock singer, and just kind of writing about it, like you broke another mirror, don't leave me high and dry, like all this. He's talking to himself. It's all very introspective, I think, and he still hasn't lost that cynical side to him either. Like, but I
yeah,
don't.
I read somewhere that My Iron Lung was written as a response to the success of Creep,
Yeah,
as an anti-hit.
anti creep.
Yeah. Like if you listen to My Iron Lung, I remember the first time I ever heard My Iron Lung,
Yeah.
would have been in the late 90s, and I put it on. I was like, "What's that?"
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I've never heard an arpeggio like that in my life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
it's funny.
odd,
Yeah,
and
it's so what, but it's so slow.
yeah,
It's just three notes, isn't it? Like the
it
bass is like
climbs
dun
down.
dun
It
dun
climbs
dun.
down, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, but yeah, it's
There's
funny.
it,
Johnny and his arpeggios. That's a thing. That's a real
yeah.
thing. Like,
But like to listen, like if I was like playing guitar and I played that arpeggio, I'd be like, "Oh, that sounds wrong. I'll do
yeah, yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. I know what you mean.
I'll
I know
pick a
what you mean.
different arpeggio." But they double down on it, right? So yeah, like I listened to it the first time, right? It's kind of jarring, you know. And then you listen to it again, and then you listen to it as part of the album, and then you're like, "Yeah, I see what he's doing here." And I
Yeah.
want more. I want to hear this again and again and again. And I think it's one of their best songs. It's an
And
abs.
why does it still have that dissonant sound to it?
Um,
Is it like
I'd
I can
have to
hear
sit
it, like, but
down. I have
like,
to sit down with the guitar. I don't know what he's doing. It's not sevenths. Is he?
yeah,
I don't know what he's putting in there, Danny. We must work
has
on
to be.
it. But he's starting on a root note,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
straight away he's going to something.
Sounds like an octave after that. Sorry,
Yeah,
third note.
it's very very distant. We if we had the time we could pull out the guitars, but we don't. We've only very
Yeah.
limited time left to talk
Yeah,
about this album. But no, we'll definitely do you know what? We might break that song down if you're interested
that'd be great.
in
Yeah. Oh wow.
a different video.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be well up.
Actually, here's a good one for you, right? My Iron Lung. It's like the end of that song is Paranoid Android. Because
Yeah,
listen,
that's
it
right.
goes
That's
like
right. It is.
da 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 da
Yes.
da
Yeah.
da, but it's literally it's the same thing, and it's funny like they do that in another song, sort of, but like oh, what is it? Uh, it's the song in OK Computer. It's Lucky. I'm on a road. Do you know that one? Then
Yes.
there's a song in the Bends that it's the same chord progression, it's the same guitar sound, but it's just a different just a little different melody, obviously. But you
Yeah.
can just from a songwriting process, like you can just see like he's reusing things here and there, and I never noticed that. It was only from repeated listens lately. I was like, oh, hang on,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
When you've got the whole discography in your head and you listen back, yeah,
Yeah,
drive
yeah, yeah.
nuts.
It's different.
Absolutely.
You come from a different perspective, so like you can hear it, I guess.
Absolutely. More standard tracks for me, Bones and Just are
Yeah, just as great.
oh my mind. Nice Dream is okay. Uh,
Yeah,
and then for me, so Bulletproof, Black Star, and Sulk are all okay. You know, they're
Star's good.
yeah,
It's
Black
good.
Star's good. Yeah, I think they're okay. I just don't think they're as strong as maybe some of the other tracks we've mentioned.
Yeah, I don't. Do you know the only reason I like it is because I heard an acoustic version of it.
Okay, well that can actually influence you. Yeah, that's happened.
Yeah, if like otherwise I would have just passed me by. But because I heard it and I was like, that's actually really good. And now it give me a kind of, I can hear what he's trying to do in it.
Different
You know what I mean?
perspective. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I do like it now.
the last track on the album, Street Spirit Fade Out. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
talk about dissonance and arpeggios and something.
Yeah, arpeggios. There you go. Yeah.
You're just addicted to that sound, that intro to. Street Spirit is
Oh yeah, it's bona
unreal.
fide classic.
You could
Like,
probably break that one down as well. On the
yeah, yeah, you could.
yeah, absolutely fantastic. Look, for me, this album, it's probably a 9 out of 10. It's so good.
I'm going to give it a seven.
A seven, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I'm just being harsh.
yeah,
I don't want to. I don't like. I'm just because I'm looking at it. I give my reasons. The seven's good. Seven's really good. That's a really good album,
yeah,
you know. But it's not my favorite Radiohead album. It's
yeah,
it's 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 it'd be up there, but it's from personal taste. Like I love it, but I prefer the ones that come later,
yeah.
you know.
Look,
But
we
for
will
what it
catch.
is, it is a great album. There's no denying it. It
We're
is.
running out of
But
time here, so I think we'll catch up next week on OK Computer, Danny,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
we'll leave it at that. So comment, share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we'll talk to you on the next one. Bye now.